All right, check it out. We're going to run through these real quick. This is the second half of the Unit 3, 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. This is what we started our second semester with. So remember when we graph right now, all of these are in standard form. Problems 1, 2, and 3 are systems of equations. And then the bottom two, we're going to do systems of inequalities. So remember, the first thing you got to do is you got to convert these to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to do that here. All right. So give yourself a little bit of room to work. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The m, remember, that's your slope. And this b, that's your y-intercept. Okay, so we need these. All right, so to get y by itself, I got to move this x term over to the other side. So remember, you're always doing the opposite. It's the same as solving equations. You just got to remember how to solve equations. 4x minus 4x is 0. Then I got y is equal to, remember up top, we want our x term first. So I got a positive 4, negative 4x. I'm going to put that first. And then I got this positive 4. Alright, so this one is done. Look at that. Y is by itself and y is positive. I'm good to go. So down here I got x plus 2y. Oop. Let's fix that up. X plus 2y equals negative 6. Same thing. I'm going to subtract this x. Then I'm going to have 2y equals negative x minus 6. But in this case, we got that 2 out front, so I got to get rid of that. I'm going to divide every term by 2. Okay. These go away. I got y is equal to. Remember, I have a negative 1 in front of this x. If you don't see that number, then it's a 1. So what's negative 1 over 2? That's just negative 1 over 2. The negative 6 over 2, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Okay. Oh, don't forget, we want that x right there. Alright, boom, boxed it up. Alright, these are both now in slope-intercept form. All I got to do is graph these. So this one, we always start with this y-intercept. Okay, always look at that y-intercept right there. And then we always start on this axis right here. Boom, boom. Okay, so positive 4, I'm going to put my dot at positive 4. Then what's my slope? Negative 4. If it's not a fraction, if it's just a whole number like this, you can put that over 1. Remember, it's always going to be a fraction. So if you don't see a number there, it's over 1. Negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me put this here for you guys because sometimes we forget. If it's positive, positive slope, if the value in front of your x is positive, you're going to go up and to the right. If it's negative, you're going to go down and to the right. Okay, you got to remember that. So here I got a negative, so I'm going to go down. And then also remember, y over x. The numerator tells you how many to go up or down. Denominator tells you how many to go left or right. So if I got negative 4 over 1, I'm going to go down 4, right 1. Down 4, right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. And then I can draw my line. Fix that. Alright, now I got my second line, negative 3, so I'm starting right here. And my slope is also negative, but I'm going down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, up 1, back 2, up 1, back 2. Alright. And then now I'm just looking for where these cross. So it looks like they cross right here. And then we list this as an ordered pair. What's this pair? So we go over to the right. That's 2. Right? Positive 2. And then I go down to my dot. How far down did I go? Negative 4. That's my y value. Remember, x, comma, y. Oops. X, comma, y. So So that is my answer right there, 2, -4. Alright, same thing here. We got y equals -2. That's already good. Remember, this is one thing you got to remember too. If you don't see the x and you only see the y, that means we got a y value of -2. Okay? If I'm on the y-axis and I don't have that x, that means I am a left to right line. So I am literally just going left to right, right here. Boom. Okay? Remember, if it is only something like x equals, that would be an up and down line. So you got to remember these. Y equals left to right. X equals up and down. Alright, then we got to convert this other one. 5x minus y equals -3. Remember, minus the x term. What drops down? A -y. Okay, then we put our x term first, and then we put our y-intercept. Remember, if y is not positive, we're not done yet. We got to divide every term by a -1. Okay, we got to get rid of that negative sign. Boom. Y divided by 1, y. -5x divided by -1, so we got a -5 over -1. That becomes a +5. We put the x out front. -3 divided by -1 becomes a +3. So we're starting up here. And box that up. We'll box that up too. So we're starting up here, +3, right? And we got a slope of +5 over 1. Positive. Can we go up 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, cannot. But we can go the opposite direction. So opposite of up 5 will be down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then to the left one. Instead of going up right, we did the opposite and down left. So now let's draw this line. And it looks like we intersect right here. So what is this point? -1, -1, and then -2. Okay. A lot of the mistakes that happen are this right here and doing that conversion. Alright. Let's take a look right here. We got x plus y equals -3. Remember, we want to subtract that x term. Y equals -x minus 3. And then we got x plus y equals -1. We want to subtract that x term. Y equals -x minus 1. Alright. Then we're going to start at -3. We got a slope of -1 over 1. So down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And then you can fill out all these dots right here. Then you want to draw this line. Alright, second one, we're starting at -1. Looks like we got the same slope, down 1 over 1. So let's just fill in all these dots so we can draw a nice, perfectly straight line. And then, what does it look like? Oh, they look like parallel lines. These lines are not crossing. So remember, if you got parallel lines in a system of equations, that means we have no solution. Alright, very good. Alright, here we have the inequalities. So remember, there's two things you got to remember. If they're like this, that means dotted line, right? There's no underline. If you got the underline, that means solid line. This is super critical. So let's go ahead and convert these. I'm going to pause right here and just convert them all because I don't want to take too much of your time. Alright, so I subtracted that x. I did want to jump in real quick just in case some of y'all forgot. Remember, if I got this -y right here, I do need to divide by that -1 because we got to get rid of that negative. But there is a rule with inequalities. If you divide by a negative, you got to flip the direction of that sign. Alright? If you do not, your shading is going to be incorrect. So remember, anytime you divide or multiply by a negative, you got to flip that sign. So let's do this here. -x minus x. negative y less than negative x plus 2. I'm going to divide every term by negative 1. Then I'm going to get y. Look at this direction of the sign. Right now it's less than. I got to flip it to greater than. Negative 1 over negative 1 is positive 1. 2 over negative 1 is minus 2. Alright, let's go ahead and draw this. So this first one, underline, is going to be a solid line. We are starting at positive 1. I got a slope of 1 over 1, right? There's no number here, so that means it's a 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. And then I'm drawing these dots. Alright, let's draw this line. This is a solid line right there. Alright, my second one, starting at negative 2, I also have a positive 1 over 1 slope. So it's just going to be up 1 over 1 and down 1, back 1. Alright, now this one is a dashed line, right? There's no underline, so this one must be a dashed line, otherwise it's going to be incorrect. Alright, now let's figure out this, this shading. Okay. We know if we look at this first one, y is less than positive 1. So the one starting at positive 1, I need to be less than. A value less than positive 1 is going to be 0. Okay, I am shading everything below this line. Everything below. All the way across. Okay, this whole area. I'm below that big solid line right here. Alright. Now this other one, it says y is greater than negative 2. So a value greater than negative 2 is going to be up here. So I am shading everything above this line. Okay. Remember, don't just stop at the other line. You want to see where these two colors overlap. So if you can see right now, I'm using blue. But where this blue crosses this yellow, it turns green. So that is my overlap. So my solution is only the overlap. So this is my solution right here. Okay, so make sure you are finding that overlap. Alright, here we got y is greater than or equal to 1. So that is good to go. So I am on the y-axis at positive 1. I got this straight line going across. Boom. And it is a solid line right there. The other one, 2x minus 3y less than 3. Let's subtract that 2x. We get negative 3y less than negative 2x plus 3. I'm going to divide everything by negative 3. So remember, I'm dividing by a negative. I got to flip that sign. Negative 2 over negative 3 is a positive 2 over a positive 3. That x goes out front. Positive 3 divided by negative 3, negative 1. So I am starting at negative 1. What is my slope? Up 2 and to the right 3. Down 2 and back 3. So it looks like I am connecting right there. That is all well and good, but I am in inequality, so I am concerned about the shading. So let's go ahead and do this. This first one, y is greater than 1. What's a value greater than 1 on the y-axis? 2. So I'm shading in this direction. So I'm going to shade everything until the edge of this graph. Boom, boom, boom. I am above this graph. Alright, what about this one at negative 1? So I am looking for something greater than negative 1. Negative 1, that's going to be right here. I want to shade everything above this graph. So I'm not going to stop at that line right there. I'm going to go all the way to the edge of this graph. So I should be blue, but anything that overlaps is my green. So if we take a look, here I got blue. This little yellow didn't turn green because this part of the shading didn't touch right there. It only shaded this area right here. Okay, this is my solution right here. Alright, so that is how you do those inequalities. Alright, let's take a look at 3.4, solving by substitution. Remember, substitution is plugging in a value. So if I had something like x plus 2, and I said let x equal 4, then I would put a 4 in for x. That's what substitution is. Okay, but here we actually have expressions that we're going to plug in. So we need to get one of these variables by itself. So up top, this first equation, no variable is by itself. Down below, y is by itself. It's completely solved for. There's a value of 1 in front. That means I know y is equal to this right here. What is y equal to? Y is equal to 2x minus 13. So I'm going to plug that into that y right there. So I do that simply by rewriting 2x plus 3, but instead of that y, I'm going to put this right here, 2x minus 13. And then I write the rest of my equation, equals negative 23. Now I just solved. 2x, 3 times 2x plus 6x, 3 times negative 13, negative 39 equals negative 23. Combine these like terms, you get positive 6x minus 2x, that is a 4x, minus 39 equals negative 23. Then I'm going to add 39 to both sides, plus 39, plus 39. This becomes 4x equals, what is that, 16? 30 minus 20, I think 16. Let's double check. My brain hurts. 39 minus 23. Boom. Yeah, see, look at that. Look how good I am. Then we're going to divide both sides by 4. And we get x is equal to 4. Okay, now that we know what x is equal to, we can plug that in and we can solve for y. So I'm going to do that right here. So we got y is equal to 2. Instead of this x, we're going to put this 4 minus 13. So 4 times 2 is 8 minus 13. Y is equal to negative 5. Boom. So then my answer, ordered pair, 4 comma negative 5. So we got the same thing here. We got y already solved for, so let's just plug it in, right? 3x minus, what is y? 3x minus 6 equals negative 4. So we got 3x. Negative times 3x is negative 3x. Negative times negative 6 is positive 6 equals negative 4. 3x minus 3x is 0. So we have positive 6 equals negative 4. Oh, what happened? My variables disappeared. Remember, if your variables disappear, you got to look for a true or false statement. Is this true? No, this is false. So what does a false statement mean? That means no solution. So make sure you write no solution in there. Boom. 2 down, 3 to go. All right, look, we got y is equal to this and y is equal to this. So all we're going to do, right, we're still substituting. We're going to substitute, what is y equal to? Negative 5x minus 5, put that right there. Okay, so instead of y, I'm going to put negative 5x minus 5 is equal to, and then I got the rest of my stuff right here, negative 8x minus 8. So I got variables on both sides. I can work either way. I'm going to add this 8x to both sides. 8 minus 5 is going to give me 3x. Okay, I got minus 5 drops down. Those go away. I got minus 8. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I get 3x is equal to negative 3. And then I get x is equal to negative 1. Boom. Alright, now that I got x, I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to use this second one. So y is equal to negative 5 times negative 1 minus 5. It's going to give me y is equal to negative times negative is positive 5 minus 5. I get y is equal to 0. And then my ordered pair is negative 1, comma 0. There we go. Let me box up that other one. Alright, so here we go. We don't have any variable already solved for by itself. The trick here is find a variable that has a coefficient of 1. This is a coefficient of negative 2, coefficient of 14, coefficient of negative 7. Oh, look, I got a coefficient of negative 1. So what I want to do is I just want to solve this equation for x real quick. And I do this by adding 7y to both sides. So this then becomes x is equal to 7y minus 8. Look at that. Now this is by itself. I can plug this x into here. So let's do that. Negative 2 times 7y minus 8 plus 14y equals 16. Boom. Now let's just solve. 7 times negative 2, negative 14y. Negative 8 times negative 2, positive 16, plus 14y equals 16. Alright, let's combine these like terms. Negative 14y plus 14y, that becomes 0, so I got 16 equals 16. Oh, variables disappear. This looks like a true statement. What does that mean? All real numbers. So remember, true, all real numbers. False, no solution. Alright, and then number 5. Alright, so looks like they all got coefficients. Negative 4, 8, negative 5, 3. None of them have a coefficient of 1. This is where I want to look for an equation that has common multiples. Okay, if I tried to solve for this y, I'd have to divide everything by 3. Can I divide 5 by 3 and get an even number? No, I cannot. If I divide everything by 5, can I get an even number? 3 divided by 5, not an even number. Or not a whole number, I should say. But what about up top? Look at this negative 4x. If I divide everything by negative 4, will that work? Sure will. So that's the one I want to solve for. Remember, you want to pick the one that works the best. I mean, you don't have to. You can work with fractions, but if you don't like fractions, find the one that works the best. So I'm going to divide this all by negative 4. I get x 8 divided by negative 4 is minus 2. And then 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. Then I just want to add this 2y to both sides. And I get x is equal to 2y minus 3. Okay, now I can plug this in. This x, since I use this first equation, I got to plug it into the bottom one. So we get negative 5 times 2y minus 3 minus 3y equals 15. Negative 5 times 2, negative 10y. Negative 5 times negative 3, positive 15. Drop down the negative 3y equals 15. Combine my like terms. Negative 10y and negative 3y gives me negative 13y. Drop down the plus 15 equals 15 minus the 15s. Negative 13y equals 0. Don't let that 0 trick you. You still got to divide both sides by negative 13. And then we get y equals 0. Remember, that's okay to get 0. Alright, let's go ahead and plug this into here. So we got x equals 2 times 0 minus 3. X is equal to 0 minus 3. We got x equals negative 3. Boom, that is my ordered pair. Negative 3, comma, 0. Don't forget your parentheses. And we are done. That is substitution. Remember, on the substitution, you got to show substitution. Alright, last one for this unit, 3.5, solving by elimination. Okay, so remember, elimination. If we can find the same value coefficient and the opposite sign, we can just add them straight up. So here I got a negative 4, negative 9. Nope. Here I got a 5 and a 5. That is the same value. Do I have opposite signs? I sure do. so I can add these straight up. Negative 4 plus negative 9 is negative 13. Negative 5 plus positive 5 is 0. 20 plus negative 20, that is going to give me 0. Okay? Alright, then we got to divide by that negative 13, and we get x is equal to 0. So now we can plug this in. I'm going to do that top one. So let's do negative 4 times 0, and we got minus 5y equals 20. This becomes 0, so I got negative 5y equals 20. And then we divide both sides by negative 5. Boom. Y is equal to negative 4. And then my order pair, 0, comma, negative 4. Done. Boom. Alright, this one. Do we got the same value? We sure do, but do we have opposite signs? Remember, we need opposite signs in order to eliminate. These are not opposite signs. But if you got the same value, same sign, remember, we can just subtract these. So I'm going to put this parenthesis, because remember, this subtraction is going to hit all of these terms. So positive 6x minus positive 6x, that's my 0. Positive 8 minus positive 10, that is a negative 2, my friends. And then we got 8, positive 8 minus positive 4, that is a positive 4. And then we divide. Negative 2, y is equal to negative 2. Boom. Alright, let's plug this in. So we got, let's do blue, why not? So we got 6x plus 8. What is my y value? That is negative 2 equals 8. Then we drop that down. 8 times negative 2, negative 16 equals 8. We want to add that 16 to both sides. 6x equals 24. We divide both sides by 6. We get x is equal to 4. Yep, looks right to me. So my ordered pair, 4 comma negative 2. Alright, 3 more. Bear with me. I mean, you guys should be doing these. I don't know why I'm doing these. Alright, let's take a look. Do I got the same value? I do not. Do I got the same value? I do not. Okay, so I don't have the same value or the opposite sign trick like the first one. So this is where I got to change either one equation or both. This is where I ask myself, can my small number go into my big number? Sure can. 10 can go into 30. 4 can also go into 12. So let's do 10 into 30. What can I multiply 10 by to get 30? Well, I can multiply it by a 3, but I still got the same signs. I want opposite signs. So how could I change this sign? Well, I could multiply it by a negative, and that's going to change all my signs. So let's rewrite this over here. We got negative 30x minus 12y equals negative 30. Now I need to multiply all of these terms. Negative 10 times negative 3, positive 30x. Negative 4 times negative 3, positive 12y. And negative 10 times negative 3, positive 30. So now I can do like I did in the first one, add these straight up. So negative 30 plus positive 30, 0. Negative 12 plus positive 12, 0. So I got 0. Negative 30 plus positive 30 is 0. So I got 0 equals 0. Is that true or false? Don't let the zeros fool you. 0 is equal to 0. Last time I checked. So this is true. And remember, if you got a true statement, you got all real numbers. Okay, some of you guys are compelled to think, oh, I got some zeros here. That means no solution. That is not true. 0 is a value, and 0 does equal 0. All right, let's take a look at this next one. We got same values, nope. Same values, nope. Can this small number 6 go into my big number 7? No, it cannot. But this 6 can go into this 12, so we want to get rid of these x's. All right, what can I multiply 6 by to get 12? Well, I can multiply it by 2, And I already have opposite signs, so I don't need to multiply by a negative. Let's multiply this out. 6x times 2, 12x. 6y times 2 plus 12y. And then 12 times 2 equals 24. Then let's write this one underneath. Negative 12x minus 7y equals negative 4. Alright, let's go ahead and add these straight up. 12 plus negative 12, 0. 12 plus negative 7, that's like 12 minus 7. That's going to give me 5y. And then 24 plus negative 4, that's going to give me 20. And then we divide by the 5. We get y is equal to 4. Boom. Alright, let's do this one in purple. Let's plug this y in. Let's do this bottom one. So negative 12x minus 7 times 4 equals negative 4. Negative 12x minus 7, 14, 21, 28 equals negative 4. I'm going to add this 28 to both sides. And I got negative 12x equals 24. Divide by negative 12. I get x is equal to negative 2. Boom. So we got negative 2 comma 4, and we are good to go. Alright, down below, let's try the same thing. Same value, nope. Same value, nope. Can my small go into my big? It cannot. Can my small go into my big? It cannot. It looks like I got to change both of these equations. Alright, so 8 can't go into 10, 3 can't go into 7, but we can change both of these. We can find the lowest common multiple, let's say 21, because 3 can go into 21, and 7 can go into 21. And we got opposite signs right here. So I'm going to multiply this top one by 7, and this bottom one by 3. Alright, let's go ahead and write these out. 7 times negative 8, 7, 14, 20, 28, negative 56x. 7 times negative 3 minus 21y is equal to 19 times 7. Let's do that on here. 19 times 7, that is 133. So this is negative 133. And then here we got 3 times negative 10x, that is negative 30x. 3 times positive 7, 21y. And 3 times negative 13 is negative 39. Let's go ahead and add these up. Boom. Negative 56 plus negative 30 is negative 86. Negative 21 plus 21 is 0. And then negative 133 plus negative 39. Ugh. Man, these are some big numbers. Good thing we got calculators. Let's clear this out. So we got 133 plus 39. A negative plus a negative will end up being a negative. So we got negative 172. And it looks like that will divide. So we got x is equal to positive 2. Boom. Let's plug this in and wrap this up. Negative 8 times 2 minus 3y equals negative 19. Negative 16 minus negative 3y equals negative 19. Add this 16 to both sides. Boom. Negative 3y equals negative 3. Y is equal to positive 1. So we got 2 comma 1. Alright. I know that was a long video, but that's 3 sections right there. You know, fast forward to the ones you need, what have you. Check them out. Make sure you know how to do these. Get those retakes done. Alright. Hope this helped. Peace out.